So how does moving from isolated AI point solution to a workflow native infrastructure fundamentally change how a patent attorney interacts with tech on a daily basis? Yeah. So I think on that topic, there used to be silos between organizations, so corporations and law firms, and clients and service providers. And within law firms, and within corporations, between R&D teams and in-house IP teams selecting, so R&D teams surfacing new inventions, IP in-house selecting the one which are worth patenting based on the strategy of the company. Outside counsel actually owning the drafting and the prosecution project because most of the work used to be outsourced. And within a law firm, a senior partner owning the relationship with the client, and junior contributors working on the actual task. And so, as you can see, looking at the panorama, a lot of different steps, different silos. And if you take each of these steps one by one, as people used to work, but you are not aligning what is done with the end game, which is basically to create more valuable IP for the company. And you create a lot of inefficiencies at every step due to the lack of context, due to the need to interact with other people and to get their approval or feedback before going to the next steps. And so I think one of the major evolution we bring by developing DeepIP not as a point solution but as an infrastructure, as following the entire workflow, supporting the entire workflow, is really to break down these silos and have people both in-house and outside working on one shared infrastructure between R&D and in-house, facilitating collaboration and sharing more context, being more efficient on the way to surface and select the right inventions, and outside on the actual drafting and iteration with the clients to actually produce a patent which is worth something and prosecuted in line with the strategy. And what is specific to so this is about technology. So basically creating a shared infrastructure, collaboration. This could exist before AI. This could have existed before AI. What is unique and what's changed with AI is that at every step of this workflow, within each silo and across the silos, you will have AI agents performing tasks. And so you will have AI agents pingponging, assisting R&D people to guide them towards more valuable inventions. You will have AI agents selecting inventions which are truly novel compared to all previous inventions suggested by the entire R&D team in a company. And when you speak about companies like Siemens or Infineon or very large companies, it's a huge challenge to be able to focus on what is truly valuable. And so, and similarly, on the drafting and outside counsel part, prosecution part, agents are helping to identify the gaps in what has been disclosed by the inventor, and so making sure we proactively collect that information before starting to work on the actual draft. We have agents working with assisting the drafter in being focusing on what truly matters. So basically the scope of the claims, the formulation of the claims, the support of the embodiments within the description, and not on the tedious part, which is basically more easily handled by the AI. So I think it transforms the entire workflow, making it more transparent and more collaborative. And AI drives create new opportunities to be more efficient and to focus on more valuable elements of the invention.
Absolutely. Thank you. So how does DeepIP securely maintain data context across the entire patent lifecycle?
So I think I addressed the question with the first answer. So AI is, it's like every software. So crap in, crap out. Siloed context mean siloed output. So when you think about the way we build one infrastructure, so a shared database aggregating context from the very beginning, so inventors iterating on the scope of the invention to the enforcement, so basically making sure no one infringe your patents. If you think about one infrastructure aggregating context as we go through the patent lifecycle, you start seeing emerge a tool which has the entire context in memory. If you integrate that tool with the existing tooling at a client, so typically the document management system, the IP management systems, the docketing systems, you are making an infrastructure which is able to notably aggregate context across the life cycle, but also to get access and read complementary contextual information which are sitting in other systems and needed to get the full picture to gain the most efficiencies. And so this is the way we aggregate all that context. And about the security of that data, there are a lot of different ways and levels to address the security questions. Everything we do is on segregated instances. We don't retain the data of our clients. We don't reuse the data of our clients to train the models. Segregation exists at different levels between organizations, between users, their access rights. There is both logical and physical segregation of these different accesses. So these are really, operational and design measures. And then we have, I would say, certifications measures. So we use outsourced external third parties in charge of assessing the way we do things, penetration tests, ISO 27001 certifications, SOC 2 Type 2 certification, ISO 20, I don't remember, 042, which is about the way we handle AI systems. So we combine, software design, organizational measures, and certifications, and third-party certifications to build and test and prove the security level of the infrastructure.
Fantastic. Have you observed anything in particular regarding user adoption when they're embedding AI directly? What do you see?
Yeah, so I think one of the bets we've done at the beginning of DeepIP was to bring AI where people work and not to ask them to learn about a new infrastructure. So obviously, we see DeepIP as a very fundamental infrastructure for IP, but we integrate with existing systems to provide the output and to get access to complementary information. And this has a very, very strong impact on adoption and broader success. So typically, if you are considering buying a solution, choosing the tool is 25% of the success. 75% remaining part of the success is how do you make sure that people actually adopt and heavily use these tools. And when we speak about AI, it's not a side tool. It's a total transformation of the way you operate. So being embedded into the tool it means being able to speak to 90% of the audience. When you look at a firm or when you look at a corporation, you have people which have different level of tech friendliness, and this is depending on a lot of things. Their natural propensity to discover new tools and to learn about it, their willingness to do it, the technical domains in which they work, their age, their seniority levels. And if you think about the stakes to transform your organization, you need to have 80% of the firm onboarded and actually using these tools. And you won't be able to do that fast enough if you rely on tools which are not heavily embedded into the environment that they are already familiar with. Concretely, we see that being within Word after 3 months means having a 20% higher adoption rate. In terms of usage, intensity of usage, we see that after 6 months, there is a 40% gap in terms of intensity of usage of the tool between people using it embedded into Word or embedded into their IPMS versus on a web platform which is not deeply integrated.
Right.
So all of that is compounding in the end. And when you think about the success and the long-term stakes and challenges that your firm is facing, it's very important to take that at the core of the decision.
Absolutely. So how does your agentic search architecture deal with prior art that traditional keywords or Boolean queries frequently miss due to non-traditional language?
So I think first of all, on search, I think techniques are complementary. So long-term wise, I would say traditional Boolean techniques will be totally embedded and mimicked, by agents. But today, I think instead of opposing tools, what we see is that there is a lot of complementarity between these tools. I think what is unique with agentic search is that we are able to build agents which are reproducing the iteration cycles of a human. And today we are at a stage where the technology is not 100% dry, and so we are not yet able to outperform, very expert people doing it the traditional way on very niche topics. But it's just a matter of time because these agents are able to iterate more and more by themselves on the quality of the result. And this is what what people need to understand about agentic search is that basically, instead of you iterating on the search, we are able to build agents which are reproducing the way you think about the search process, because search is not a result, it's a process, and to do that at scale much faster. Yeah.
So it's almost like the agent is kind of learning how an IP lawyer would talk, and it's using their own language and stuff back. So
yes, exactly,
things can't get missed.
And typically, but within the process, the agentic process, we'll have an agent relying on Boolean strategies. So basically, based on the semantic search, defining the set of keywords that should be searched, iterate, structure a best of state-of-the-art Boolean search, run it, iterate on this keyword, on this Boolean search as a complementary strategy. And this is why it's just a matter of time before we are able to outperform the human on this task, but it's not yet the case because it takes time to learn how to do that at scale on all domains.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, given the stakes sort of involved with IP and everything that a patent lawyer needs in terms of drafting, etc., how do you create frameworks that can eliminate hallucinations and protect sensitive IP?
Yes, so I think the only way to perform that is to combine technologies. And a very, very simple, concrete example, illustration of that. So we combine technologies and we rely on large language models like Claude or OpenAI or on specific tasks, and we combine them with very, very niche expert models, which will be acting, for instance, as detecting if something is said and not supported into the invention disclosure. Today, we are able to cite, we are at a stage where, thanks to the combination of these technologies, we are able to cite the source of every single paragraph generated in DeepIP. So whatever the stage on which you work, whatever the step on which you work, we are able to ground every single generated text into an identify piece of content, the invention disclosure, the prior art, the complementary literature which has been made available, the communication of the office, whatever that piece of content is. And so it's not preventing 100% of the hallucination, which is not possible, but it's giving the ability to the attorney to assess in a matter of seconds if what is generated is the right interpretation of the source in which this is grounded.
Awesome. Well, you've already mentioned, obviously, AI makes everything much faster and it condenses everything down. How can it compress the amount of time spent on data triage, drafting? How do you see DeepIP accelerating the shift from billable hour-based pricing? Because that's something the industry is really, I think it's kind of something they get to and go, we'll think about it later, in terms of how are they going to charge for rates of work when what used to take however many hours is now taking like 15 minutes.
Yeah. So honestly, I think this is potentially a risk which is the most misunderstood. Potentially billable hours, billing by the output, so by the task, by the patent, by the draft, is potentially the largest opportunity for the industry. At least for the one that will embrace and really transform deeply the way they operate. And so a few ideas on that. Today, there are two major transformations. So AI is obviously helping people gain efficiency on the different tasks, saving more and more. The range varies a lot depending on the person, the proficiency, the technical domain, but a good it varies between 20% and 70%. Okay, depending on the task, depending on a lot of. So the impact is already huge on some tasks, and clients are aware of that, and so obviously they won't accept for long. Today there is a bit, there is information gap, but it won't last. So within a few months, within a few years, everyone will have access to information, and so people will know exactly how much time is spent on the task. And so this makes people afraid of the evolution of their business model, because today the drafting and prosecution is most of their work, and so they are wondering what they will do. But I think this is analyzing the situation with the current lenses, which are not the lenses relevant in the future. So first thing is, whenever there is such a revolution, the amount of tasks usually explode. It's a paradox called the Jevons paradox. So whenever you add electricity, it has not reduced the amount of work to be done. It has created so much more work in new industries that we were not aware of. And it will be the same for IP. So much more inventions that we didn't think about protecting, and so much more new kind of tasks that were not possible before. And so new services to propose to clients. To be very concrete, typically doing a prosecution strategy with as objective to develop a portfolio of patents onshored into a standard is something which is not possible today. Used to be not possible because far more costly, too costly. With AI, we are at a stage where some companies will be able to take a patent, a standard, their own technology, and to really develop a portfolio, families of patents focused on this standard, to make sure they are actually developing IP in order to get as much value from this standard. These are things which are totally new. The amount of work required to do that before AI was totally crazy and making that totally impossible. This is something that will become a standard without playing with the words.
AI is so exciting. It's a new frontier, but lots of people are very frightened by that.
And so being able to turn your work into a fixed fee model is the best opportunity to differentiate and to leverage every single productivity gains you will be able to create internally by the way you embrace AI, by the way you reinvent your internal model, the way you operate in this new context. Every single point of efficiency internally will be incremental margin for you, because prices are determined by the market, and your positioning. It's not something you are able to have to act significantly on. And so if you look at it as an opportunity, and if you get organized to transform your operating model and the services you offer to your clients to embrace most of this opportunity, you are in a position to make more volume thanks to the productivity gains and more margin as a company.
Absolutely. It's an opportunity, not something to be frightened of. Do you come from an IP background yourself, or
Not at all. Not at all.
no?
No. I come from software, mostly software. Yeah.
Okay, so you fell into the IP rabbit hole like most people in this industry did.
Yes. By chance, by chance. Yeah. And I like it. It's a very nice industry. A lot of nice people. Yeah.
All the people seem very creative.
Very smart, very educated, very creative. Yeah. Very kind as
absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you very much for talking to me today. It's been lovely
Thanks
to
so much,
meet you.
Elizabeth. Same.